Welcome back to my channel, The Cheery Fashionista. So in this video, I want to share with you guys my YouTube journey thus far. I want to talk about how I started, how it's going, what I wish I knew, and what to expect in the future. So I started my first video was posted back in May of 2023. I remember it like it was yesterday. And the reason why I decided to start a YouTube channel was because, first of all, I consume a lot of content on YouTube. I watch a lot of documentaries, and I was like, you know what? I can also share my thoughts on things that I care about, things that I watch. So I was like, why not? I can do this and have a second form of income. So that was my goal. So when I first started this channel, I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm into fashion. I love fashion. I love reading articles. This is what I do like every time. Like, I like knowing what's going on in general. But I was like, okay, I like reading about stuff, but I don't want to talk about everything. Like, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about stuff that's draining, even though I read about it. So I was like, why not talk about, celebrities? Because, celebrities are a big deal in America. People follow their stories around the world. And so I was like, this is something very easy to do. And with all these events that are happening here and there's always content about celebrities that I could talk about, or that's what I thought. So yeah, I do remember my first video being about, who else? Harry and Meghan. I remember critiquing Harry's book Spare in detail. That was my first long form video. I think I got 80 views, and yeah, it was a good way to start. I didn't have any equipment, just my phone. I didn't even have a tripod stand because I kept saying I'm going to order this, I'm going to order everything that I need, and I kept procrastinating and using that as an excuse as to why I hadn't posted. So I was like, you know what, if I could just post this video, I could get my feet wet and start this YouTube journey. So yeah, like I said, I decided to go the celebrity route. At that time, I wasn't really comfortable with like, I'm into fashion, but I wasn't comfortable with getting dressed on camera. Like, that is just not something I'm comfortable doing. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I should just talk about celebrities and celebrity fashion, because fashion is fashion. So, I was posting a lot of content about celebrities, any trending stories about them, but I wasn't getting any engagement. I was getting a lot of followers, and that was great, but people were not commenting like I thought they would, even though these stories on other platforms and other news outlets were trending, and there were a lot of comments, which is actually why I chose as the subject. Like, I would go and read up and see that this is trending, and I would be like, you know what, this is going to be very easy. But I would get followers with 0 likes and 0 comments. And then on top of this, I started feeling like, okay, so people are following me, but why are they not commenting? So I was like, after all the research I'm doing, what am I going to do? So I kind of started feeling like, I was like, okay, I don't know if this is what I want to do all the time. Now, you guys, I want to say that when I started YouTube, I knew it was a long game. Like, everybody knows that, you join YouTube, you do videos for the long run. This is not something that you do short term with the expectation of gaining success. So I was ready to put in the work, but doing that and working full-time is very, very, very difficult and very challenging. I barely had time to rest, coming from work. So, with work requirements, I found, and then obviously with not getting any engagement, I was like, you know what, I'll just post whenever. So then I was just like, you know what, I'm not even going to put in any effort, you guys. I was like, I'll just post, for the people who are following me, so they don't think I gave up, and also, to keep the algorithm knowing that I'm still posting. So I remember doing a video. This is my best video so far on YouTube about Malcolm, what is his name, the son of Michael Jordan, Malcolm Jordan or something, dating Larsa Pippen or something. So that video, I talked about their romance, and how Michael Jordan apparently was not happy about their whole affair. Anyway, that was my best video. That video, I didn't even think twice about it, because I was like, in fact, I remember preparing it while wanting to go somewhere. So it took like 5 minutes. You guys, how crazy is that? That a video that I didn't even think about, that I just, formed an opinion really quickly, and I just posted, and it went viral, you guys. Okay, not viral like millions, but for me, that was like my best video so far. So I got so many comments. This is when I was like, okay, so people can really comment. I was like, are they not seeing my videos? So they, I got a lot of comments, I got a lot of followers, and yeah, it was very exciting. And you guys, I got 700 hours because of that video, if you can believe it. So I posted this video back in June of 2023. You guys, I was like, okay, this is something I can do. But then I didn't find success with, videos after that. And then I kind of felt pigeonholed. Like, now people are expecting me to talk about sports and, Michael Jordan and the NBA, and that was not my thing. So now I was like, okay, so what am I going to do now? Because a lot of the people who followed me, a lot of guys followed me, maybe they thought I was going to be into sports, and that's not my thing. So then I kind of was like, okay, this is just hard. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go off of that video. Let it run while I see what else was going on. Then, as I continued my journey on YouTube, I discovered that there's some content that you could just say someone's name and it will go, people are going to say something. And, I was like, this is way too easy. I could just do this and, get the hours, get the followers, and, this is interesting content. And you guys know, anytime people are talking about Meghan Markle, there is going to be comments and interest. So I was like, maybe I can dive into this. So I started talking about Meghan Markle and Harry, and first of all, I find their story very interesting. Their whole quitting the royal family and deciding to be independent while also seeking privacy, but also being in the public eye. So I just found their story interesting, and because of the backlash and the polarity that their story, has, I was like, I can talk about this very, very easily. Okay, so you guys, let's talk about what skills I gained. So doing YouTube videos is not easy. I'm not gonna lie. No matter like whatever background you have, it requires a lot of research. You have to give facts. Even if you're giving an opinion, they have to be based on facts. You have to do a lot of research. So that requires a lot of time. And because of how, with the work requirements and, wanting to grow the channel, I wasn't editing. I think I was using InShot at the time. I was like, I don't have time to, go crazy with editing and get 2 views, I just didn't have that. And then, I piggybacked on the, Michael Jordan video that I was talking about, which I uploaded just a picture of these two, Larsa and Marcus at that time, and that was it. Like 2 minutes of editing, and I got a lot of. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to, not post because of editing. So that's another thing I noticed about myself. Then, you guys, so far I think I have 330 subscribers, and a lot of people I know, they do the promotion thing where they just get, subscribers coming left and right. And so I read somewhere that, if you do that, they don't stick around, it's not natural, they don't engage. So I was like, you know what, I'd rather just grow naturally, having people come who love the content and, want to be a part of my community, instead of just, pulling in people from all over who are not going to do anything. And, yeah. So, like I said, growing a YouTube channel is about patience, resilience, and, being confident. Because if people feel like you're not confident, they're not going to, you're not going to, like, whatever you're saying, even if it's true, it's not going to have any weight. People are going to be like, okay, what you're saying is true, but why are you doubting yourself? So this journey requires you to be, self-assured, to be very confident, and whether people like it or not, you have to say what you have to say. This is the thing that I have come to realize about YouTube. You just have to have, inner strength, where you're going to say stuff. People may agree or may not agree with you, and that's okay. You're not going to be for everyone, and you cannot you can't have people agreeing with you all the time, because then that's weird. I would want someone to, fact check me, or, with respect, of course. Yeah. Let's talk about haters. So in my journey, I've actually had really good, support from, my subscribers. I haven't had, serious trolls like I've seen on other pages. I've had, off-putting comments here and there, and, just silly stuff, really. Not stuff like, people are going to comment and see, try to get a reaction out of you, try to put you off the game, or try to make you, stop posting or whatever. So you cannot be intimidated by what people who you don't know. You guys, I don't know these people. They don't know me. They only know me from me talking over here. And after I end it, that's it. I don't even think about the haters. Like, if they comment, that's good for the algorithm, and we just keep it moving. But thank God I haven't had any crazy, trolls posting in my videos. But people do get animated when it's, when I'm talking about Meghan Markle and Harry. That's when, it becomes a battle. So, or, Princess Kate and Prince William. That's when people are like up in arms. So if you guys want to grow your channel real fast, just talk about the royal family. That's guaranteed. People are going to come and watch. Another thing that is important to mention is your watch hours. So for you to be monetized on YouTube, I believe you need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And then there's also another part. This is like a partial monetization, where you can have people subscribe to your to membership or something. This one requires like 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, which is my goal. Like, I don't want to go for the 4,000 yet. I'm just, taking a step at a time, and, with that being the final goal, obviously. So you guys, if you're starting a YouTube channel, you have to remember that your watch hours have to be valid within 365 days, which is a year. So if you post like I did, and you get, like, I got that, like, when I did that viral video I was talking about, in terms of for me, I got like 700 hours, and the story died down, so that's all I got. And that was like 2 years ago. So I lost 700 watch hours, you guys, because of not being consistent. I stopped posting at the end of 2023. I think I stopped like for 5 months. So then I lost all those watch hours. And when I came back January of 2024, I wasn't as consistent. So my goal was to try and get those 3,000 watch hours, but by the time I was like, it was so difficult with work and everything. So you guys, if you're going to start, my recommendation is have long form videos lined up. Like have them lined up. That way you're just posting, and aim for those 4,000 watch hours. And that way, you already, it's good to always have content, in my opinion. It's good to batch create. If I would go back, I would have like 10 videos at a time. That way I always have content, because you don't want to work so hard, even though that video I didn't even put a lot of effort, but I lost 700 watch hours, you guys. And so I'm back to scratch, you guys. Can you imagine? I'm like starting all over again. So that's just how life is. Sometimes you have to, 10 steps back to move one forward, and that's okay. I'm learning. I'm sharing with you guys what I've learned. Don't make these mistakes. If you're going to do this, you have to be willing to commit. Like, it's not something you're going to do, and if you stop, then you might as well just stop for good, because it is long and tedious work that requires passion. Like, you have to be passionate about what you're talking about. If you're going to post content hoping to go viral or to get like success quickly, it's going to be very frustrating. You have to do it long term, and you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy doing research, if that's your thing. If you are passionate about celebrities, you have to talk about it with passion. It's not something where you're just posting and you're not interested, because it's going to come across as you not being interested, and it's going to be off-putting. Yeah, so I thought you should also know that those watch hours are important. The other thing is, you either have the 3,000 watch hours, or 3 million views in shorts in 90 days. So that's another thing. If you are into shorts and you can deliver and go crazy, go ahead. But that's, for me, I feel like that's a hit or miss, because the algorithm, sometimes it favors shorts, sometimes it doesn't. But long form video is what YouTube is based on. Like, that's how it started. So I think that that's a sure way to get success long term on this app. Titles and your YouTube thumbnail, you guys, these are very, very important. These are the things that draw people in. These are things that are going to make people want to watch the video. So pay attention to them. Sometimes when you're starting out, it is an overwhelming feeling, because you want to post. You're like, okay, I'll work on that later. And I know I have done this, where I post, I'm like, I'll work on the cover, on the thumbnail later, because I'm just so overwhelmed with doing stuff. So you guys, you can use Canva, you can use CapCut to come up with thumbnails that are going to, draw attention to your video. The other thing is obviously your titles, and this is where I was talking about search engine optimization, where you are putting in such like words that are being searched in your titles, words that have volume. Like, if you put something that is enticing but nobody's searching for those terms, even though your video is good, your video is not going to be noticed. So you can look at other people's, like, you can look at similar content on YouTube and see what the creators are using, what keywords are they using, how do their thumbnails look. People actually like videos that are similar. I used to think that, oh, you know, this is going to be so similar to this other creator and people are going to know that I copied them. But people actually like that. People kind of are drawn to familiarity. They want something that they know what to expect. So sometimes you don't even need to reinvent the wheel. All you need to do is just go look at what another creator has done. You know, just don't copy word for word, but you know, something similar, and it's going to bring in people. Another thing that's very important is formatting your videos. This is something, like I said, because of work requirements, that you know, I struggle with. Sometimes I just want to post, and this is why I, you know, went the shorts route, because shorts are so easy. You just post, you put 3 hashtags, and that's it. But that's not going to help your channel long term. So you have to do SEO, guys. That means search engine optimization. That means you're doing research about keywords, what people are searching. This requires a lot of time. But you guys, it's better to do one long form video that you have researched and has the right keywords, that may not get any subscribers, but when they start coming, they're going to be there long term if it's a well researched, you know, video. So search engine optimization is very important. Formatting your videos in a clear and concise way. Another thing that, you know, I wasn't doing, and some of my videos have and some don't, is timestamps. It's a lot, you guys. It requires a lot of work. If you can get someone to do it for you, go ahead. You can get assistance from Upwork, I think, and Fiverr, I think. Yeah, these are people who are willing and able and have time to help you. So you can pay like for $5 for editing of a video, and you can focus more time in, you know, the creation process. So like I said, posting, you know, videos and, you know, working full-time is it's not easy. And you know, during the weekends, which is when I have my free time, that's when I want to breathe and, you know, unwind. And so you find that you have like an hour here, an hour there to post content. And so this is going to be the reason as to my next part of my YouTube journey. So after posting videos about celebrities and, you know, feeling, you know, I started questioning, is this what I want to talk about? You know, talking about other people. Like I was at a crossroads, because I would read this stuff and I would feel like it's so draining, and I didn't feel like it was part of my journey. So I started focusing on, you know, celebrity fashion and, you know, red carpets, and that was fun. That is something that I like doing. But the only thing is the time, you know, the time to go through each celebrity outfit, to criticize it. It takes so much time, you guys, to do research on who the, you know, the designer is, the shoes that they're wearing. Oh my God, it's so draining. And then to do all that and get 50 views over 6 months, it's so, you know, it's challenging. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because this is something that you're passionate about. This is something that works well for other creators. But, you know, the time is money, you guys. And it's not something that you know, you just take for granted, because every second matters. So yeah, I did find success with, you know, those red carpet videos, but, you know, with the time required, I just didn't see myself doing it long term. And so I started doing shorts. So I wanted to also, so you guys, this is another thing that I struggled with, finding a niche. Oh my God, I know my subscribers are just like, why can't she just focus on one thing? Because one time I'm talking about trending news, sometimes I'm motivating, sometimes I'm inspiring, sometimes I'm talking about, you know, Meghan Markle, sometimes I'm royal carpet. So you guys, bear with me. Like, it's hard. It's really hard to pinpoint, because, you know, you can be passionate about a lot of things. You know, there's so many things you have opinions about, and you're like, I want to talk about this, but then you're like, this is going to confuse my core supporters, because, and I also like traveling, so like it's hard. So then I was like, you know what, I love motivating people. I love, making people feel good about themselves, giving them hope, and helping them look forward to a brighter future in their lives. So I started doing shorts. I was posting a lot of shorts, but then I realized that it's not good for, the channel in general. Like, it's not going to be good long term, even though the messages are really heartfelt and I really care. I felt like, okay, I want to motivate, but then I would need to do longer videos. So I started doing that, and I've had uh, mixed feedback on that. So then, and you guys, because I'm also on TikTok, and I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers, and to do that, you just need to post short videos, like 10 seconds or less. That's why I was taking those videos and bringing them to YouTube as shorts. But then I found out that that's not good for the channel, so that is something I'm trying to to stop doing. So what are my plans going forward, and what is my advice for new creators? So my goals going forward are to do long form videos about anything. And you guys, I'm trying to narrow down my niche. I like fashion. I like reading news. I like talking inspiring. So I'm kind of all over the place. So yeah, this is just who I am. I'm multifaceted. So my plan is, to do long form videos, to do, shorts, maybe just sparsely, like sprinkle them here and there, but not all the time, because it's not good for the channel, and it doesn't bring in the people who are going to stick long term. I know there are people who have built their YouTube channels just on shorts, and I just don't know if that's me. I don't know if that's something I just don't know, you guys. I'm just testing out different kinds of videos to see what works. So what is my advice for new creators? Don't stress about equipment. Like, if you want to post your content, you have something to say, just take your phone, record, and post. Don't even think about it, especially if you haven't started, because that's going to hold you back. Because I could have started this back in 2022, but I kept saying, I'm going to do it, when I get off work I'll do it. And finally I was like, if I don't do it, it will never happen. And finally I just did it without anything. I just took the phone. I didn't even have lighting. My videos were dark. So I was like, I don't care, I'm going to do it. So if you're a new creator, if you're looking to post the videos, just post and get your feet running. Yes, you may not even get any views, and that's okay. Another thing that other creators have said, and I agree with, is do not share your link with family or friends. And you guys, this is not personal. This is because you want to reach a wider audience. You want to reach people who don't know you, but who also are interested in your content. So if you share with your family and friends and they don't interact, first of all, the channel will always push the content to them, because that's what it's used to. So you need to not do that, so that you can have natural engagement. People who want your content and are not supporting you just because they feel like they're obligated to do that. You have to keep posting. So if I was starting today, if I could start over, I would start with long form videos. And that's why you see I have so many videos, more than my subscribers. So you guys, if you're starting, start with long form. It doesn't matter if it gets 0 views. Just do long form, because that's what's going to bring in people. do a short from the video, like do a short directing the viewer back to the long form video. I think that helps. So yeah, you guys, going forward, I'm working on long form videos. I am working on, doing more fashion content, because I like, showing dresses and dressing up. This is something that I like doing. I also like talking about, events, current news, having an opinion. These are things that I just enjoy doing. The other thing that I would advise people who are doing these videos, like wanting to do YouTube, is, like I said, you have to do it long term. Like, you cannot do it expecting any results. Don't even expect anything. Just post and post. Work on posting. Work on creating the content. Don't even worry about analytics in the first 6 months, because it won't matter. The right people will come along and they will subscribe, and you will grow from that. So you guys, that's my journey so far on YouTube. Don't post shorts when you're starting, unless this is going to be something you do forever. And if you're going to, then you need to post like 10 times a day for it to be worth it. Yeah. If you guys have any questions or you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.